Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another video of John Lynn Homestead. This is a project I started several months ago. Floor is, the concrete's eaten up to the point that I want to paint this. In order to paint this, I have to put a layer of cement over it. One co-worker, a supervisor of mine, said I should use vinyl patcher. That's what I'm going to be using today. I know it works. I've done parts of it fairly well. But in order to get it to stick, I got to use this. This is a bonding agent. So I'm going to have to do this video in sections. I have to wait for this stuff to dry. Get these loose rocks out of here. This stuff drives me crazy. You sweep it up, walk across it, and you got to do it again. All right, so we're going to put this stuff on. Going to let it dry. Then I'm going to mix the stuff up, and we'll come back, and I'll show you how I spread it on. So. Spread it out, get it brushed in. What I do, when I put this stuff on, I got a taping knife, and I use it to spread it out, and I got a sponge to feather it into the edges so it doesn't look like it's a total cluster. So we're going to do this real quick. I got 20 pounds. I'm hoping that 20 pounds will do this whole patch what I got in front of me and behind me. Because I got this two-part epoxy paint that I'm going to use. And it's a dark charcoal. Got the little snowflakes and stuff you put in it. Looks pretty cool. I mean, it's what you see in these high-end garages. And stuff sold at Lowe's for about, I think it was like $230 some odd for it. Well, I guess it was out of date or something. I'm not too sure. Maybe the guy just didn't know what he was doing. I never used this stuff before. I've used a single part epoxy garage paint. It works well. I like it. Look at this, more loose rocks. God, that drives me crazy. So I'll just brush this stuff in. And I did the first part of the barn with it, but this stuff, they marked it down to $2 for a 2-car garage. I'm kind of excited because I got more than enough for all the stuff that I got. There should be more than enough to do this and that big section over there. So I'll just get this stuff out and help to bond this. I thought I'd be able to walk through this barn without rocks coming up. I swept this floor. I got a bunch of dead wasps over there, bunch of rocks, which is a continuous nightmare. And there's another one. I just swept this floor. Even had a dead mouse. No point showing any of that. I gave it to my cat Shadow. I got him, I think it was just after Halloween. About 2 years ago. He's a good cat. Gets all the mice. But I've been keeping him out of this section because I'm doing all this work. He seems to like use it as a litter box, and since he's not fixed, tends to spray stuff around. And I don't care for that too much. So I'm hoping I have enough of this bonding stuff to do what I have to do in here. So you just work it in, all the little places you want filled in. The final catcher, 20 pounds, I'm thinking might be enough to finish what I gotta do. Already got 40 pounds throughout from here over back towards the camera. I know this is a different video from what you've seen so far, but here on the homestead, you got to be able to do everything. I mean, it don't matter what it is. You got to be able to fix whatever breaks. Whether I make it into a video or not, I got one thing I've been wanting to do for a while. Surprised that I paid $46 for a plug going in the wire, but I needed it for the generator. I'm going to be having I already figured out the access into my mobile home, since the meters for mobile homes are not like houses. Okay, got that one down. Now, I might have to get another thing. So, what we're going to do is mix it in here. And I want to plug my generator into the house. I can always use an extension cord to come out to the barn. When I moved in here back in July of 2007, this barn had no power at all. I had to run an extension cord, plug it in where the washing machine is, because 25 amps was the only thing that would run the table saw I had at the time. So 2008 came around. I bought a breaker box from, I think I got it from Lowe's. And it came with all the 20 amp breakers. And I go, well, that's fine. Even though it has a 200 amp main in it, I don't have 200 going into it. I figure one day I may change that back to a 100 amp. Because that's the size wire I got coming from the main breaker out by the pole to here. I ran all the wire. All the wire going from the barn to the pole is in 4-inch conduit. I tried to get it to the required depth, but I kept hearing bricks and freaking boulders. Now I know how Al Lumna is up Lumna Acres. He's out there digging and he hits these rocks. There's a little thing sticking up. That little thing turns into the biggest rock you've ever seen. It's like, God, I don't know if I can live in a place like that. But we're just going to do this. Put the stuff in. You see, that's almost dry. Look, I just swept the floor and there's another rock. Look at that. This is why I'm doing this, because this part, I think, is roughly 60 years old. I don't know what they used for concrete. I don't think they mixed it right. Okay, so this will make life a whole lot easier. So when I get this all painted, I'll have a nice, smooth surface. This part of the barn, I removed the wall that was in here. One of my videos, you've seen the thing was outside. I actually used a jackhammer, no, not jackhammer, I'd say an air chisel, and I chiseled up the studs. I was able to wiggle it loose by hand, and then I just pushed it down. I got them up on blocks, so I wrapped a chain around them, hooked them onto the tractor, and I drug them out and leaned them up against the tree. The bonding agent's not too bad. I think it's like, I think this thing costs about $12. The other stuff I got, the vinyl patcher, a 40-pound bucket is just under $11 for the whole thing, which is not bad. But in order for that stuff to stick to this mess, you've got to have something to bond it. So I've used this bonding stuff for years. I poured a parking pad out front, did it all in a cement mixer. I mixed up in the mixer by hand, alone, over 20,000 pounds of concrete. It took 2 summers. Around here, the wet season is in the spring and in the fall. I had to have 3 days of no rain before I can even think of buying the concrete, which I was buying 50 bags at a time, and mix it up, pour, clean the pallet up, and take it back to the place. Someone says, well, you know, you could have ordered a concrete truck and do it. I'm like, yeah. Do you have $800 up front for a cement truck? Then you got to be there to finish it. I'm not that kind of finisher when it comes to concrete. I'm used to doing little projects. So, you know, if you think about it, if you do all your projects on a smaller scale, you do it a little at a time, the end result is going to be something on a big scale. So that's how I've been dealing with this. Everything on the property I do on a small scale. When I first bought this place, not that you can see it, I had to replace all the way across. I didn't really have much money at the time. I wasn't even working. Transferring from a store from Florida up here, and they didn't have a place for me. So for 3 months, I spent working on this farm, just living off insurance money, because that's all I had. Waiting for the lawyer to solve the financial state of the estate. I was also on one of those programs for credit card debt. I'll never do that again. Never. They take every ounce away from you and leave you like $20 or something that a month for gas, insurance, and all that stuff. No, that wasn't even worth it. That would have been easier and better just to file bankruptcy. Not that I'm sponsoring that, but you gotta look at it realistically. Okay, I think I'll have to stop it here because I don't think it's gonna go that far. I'm thinking, yes, that mouse came in here, thinking he's getting out of the cold. He got in this corner. He found out it's a lot colder in here than you think, because it didn't look like he was sick. It looked like he just fell asleep, and that was it. Now we're going to stop right here. I think this is about all further I'm going to be able to go with this today. I'll have to get a small tub just to finish this. I have, I think, enough of this to do it. But you don't want to put down any more than what you're going to use, or you're going to have problems. So let me close this thing up. Oh. As you see, that's not bad. I'll show you the floor and what I did so far. This was so rough, every time you walked, the rocks came off. So, this is what I got done so far. We'll come back when this is dry and I'll mix up the stuff and put it down. Okay, we're back. Stuff's I believe dry enough to use the patcher. I already got mixed up. Kind of like mixing up cake batter. Okay, so what we do is just pour the stuff on, draw it out, get it into all the nooks and crannies, put it in there. It's almost like, not that I've ever used it, kind of like what people use thin strip for in the house. Just trying to keep those rocks where they need to be under the concrete. Ah, stupid wasp got in there. Always guys get somebody get in the work. Well, that didn't work too well. Okay. I would use a thermostat 45 to have that self-leveling stuff. This is great for the brain. Unlike the place I work with, should say, I never seen the drain actually drain the water that way. Okay, what I do with the sponge, we just try to feather it in around the edges, like that. This gives it a better appearance, because when I go to paint this, I like to have it where I don't have to grind down too much. All right, continue on. I mean, if any of you, more than welcome way to comment if you think I'm doing this wrong. Because this time to keep my homestead, the barn, and everything, where it's not coming apart the seams like it always seems to be. Side. So see, it's coming together quite nicely. Just try to smooth it out a little bit. Most of this here will be covered up with my workbench. But if you still want the coating to look at its best, it just goes on a whole lot easier. Okay. Broke my scraper. Let's get all we have in here out. says in the instructions, if you feel like it's getting stiff, go ahead and add some water. Now, funny thing is, with the sponge, I'm doing just that. I'm just adding a little moisture to it. Like I say, later on I'm going to be going over this with, when I'm totally done. I still got joists I got to run across the top so I have something to fasten my lights to. Another thing, and we'll mix it up. I'll mix it up real time so you can see. Got my shovel. Be much better filming when I have better lighting in here right now, which is not really the greatest. Another 10-pound bag. Pour it in here. If I feel that I can go a little further, even though it's required that you let the stuff dry, I can always put more of that binding down. So just add a little water. Just a little to start with. I find if I get it too soupy, I pour some of the water back in the bucket. A little windy outside. Just waiting for the stuff to dry. I was out there figuring to mow down some of the weeds that the farmer left behind after harvesting his soybeans. There's grass and cuttings and everything all over me. How messy. Until you get a workout, even with a little spade like this, I think I may be able to put more of that line gauge to do. Because I think I might be able to get the rest of this done. Which would be nice. Got other projects on the homestead I gotta get done. Yeah, I think I got too much water in that time. You get too much water, you just pour some of it out. There we go. Stuff nice. More water. Okay, that'll be good. We'll let that stuff set up a little bit. It'll help. I'll go ahead and get my bonding agent pour it over the rest of this little spot. Like I said, I know you're supposed to let this stuff dry, but when you're working against the clock, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. So I get hope you all are enjoying your day. I'm still on vacation until Monday I go back. This is Thursday. Trying to get stuff done around here and use up the time that I have. Company I'm at, been with the company over 22 years. And after 15, they give you 4 weeks vacation. Wish I'd take it all at once and get everything done, but you can't do that because there's other people to consider. Good. I think I'll have to go. This stuff here is not that bad. I've already used mortar mix around the perimeter where I had big, heavy gaps. That wasn't any fun at all. So like I say, when you own a piece of property, it doesn't matter whether it's a farm, a house, a homestead, or whatever. You got to do constant maintenance. Because if you don't, you end up like some of these houses I've seen around here, where the roof caved in. A lot of the families don't want to spend the money to fix it, so they just walk away from it. Now, I know I'm sure I probably said something to you guys that one of my friends says, you know, I think it'd been cheaper for you to tear that thing down and build a new one. No. Build another concrete block building costs a lot more than what they think. I already checked into it, so I already know. Okay. Let's see, I might just have enough to finish this. We'll find out shortly. I say it's really important you let the stuff dry, but the way the stuff absorbs into this concrete here, I don't think that'd be a problem. Okay. So got a little bit more. There. Use this thing. Make sure I get it all off the sides. Pour it all out. And spread her out. It's a little super and I really want it, but I think it's all right. Just to hold the rock. soupy. I'll just clean it up around the edges a little bit. Want a smooth transition from one to the other. Even though it went on a little thin, I think it'll still be alright. Because it is a cement. Alright, I think that's about it. Wanted to do this earlier, but as you've seen with the video at the barn roof, I got little dribbles in here that makes a mess. So that's it. Another 20 pounds done. I think I'm ready for paint. But see that I got another place over here. Just have to wait and see what it does. So, if you like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe, and share with your friends. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for stopping by at John Lynn's Homestead.